the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, face of boxing. He did announce his fight. He's fighting a Russian, right? A Russian. I'm sure they're gonna use that as a selling point. But Saul Canelo Alvarez against Dimitry Bivol. Great fight in my opinion, gentlemen. What do you guys think about this one?
I'll let Sean take it.
Yeah, so sort of the politics of the fight aside, I like the fight. Obviously, I think that Canelo unifying or going for undisputed at 175 is really interesting because of all the fights that can be made. Like I look forward to all the fights. I think in terms of like the package deals that were sort of touted on social media, I wasn't the keenest on this one just because I think of all those fights, the fight I'm least interested in is the Triple G 3. You know what I mean? I would rather see kind of any combination of other 175s or Charlos or things like that at this point. You know, but that's just a personal preference thing. I think that you know, of course I'll watch them all. But Bivol is a dangerous opponent. It's you can't. I think you'd have to throw. You'd have to go all the way up to like, you know, cruiserweight to find someone who would actually be favored against Canelo, like an odds-on favorite, right? So no matter what name you put in there, that's at these two weight classes, 168, 175, Canelo is going to be favored. And so the expectation is that Canelo is going to win, but I think Bivol has some good tools and he can make it difficult, and I think it'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah,
He has some advantages, so that always makes those kind of fights interesting. But yeah.
and you know it's crazy because even after Canelo Triple G2, I kept stating that I was not interested in a third fight. Now people are slowly starting to feel that same sentiment, right? A lot of people are saying for what now? A lot of people feel like Canelo at this point will beat Triple G easily or stop him even. But I do like this Bivol fight. Like Big Bro
Right.
says, he says, I'm a little nervous for Goat Nello. Bivol can outbox him. Hey, this is a tough fight. Bivol is a good, smart fighter. He uses the jab well. And if you guys remember, Canelo against Kovalev, that wasn't an easy fight. Yeah, he got the
Yeah.
No,
knockout,
he was
but
actually losing on the scorecard, right?
Kovalev, great with the jab. He was disrupting Canelo's momentum. So Bivol
Yeah.
in his prime, I'm pretty sure he's going to be confident. Let's see how long that confident lasts in the fight. A lot of Canelo opponents go in there feeling confident after one or two rounds. They don't feel the same way. So we'll see. I think this is a very good fight. I think this is the toughest fight besides Beterbiev, in my opinion.
Oh, interesting. To me, first of all, I think this was such a boss move by Canelo. You know, letting the Charlos and the Benavides know, like, you guys have to fight each other. You can't just expect me to, give you guys the winning lottery numbers. Nah, make something happen first, and then we'll talk next year. You know, I'm busy. Picking Bivol, I think he's his toughest opponent since Triple G #1. You know, this was Canelo moving up in a way where when Triple G was a monster, when he was just dominant, in that middleweight division. I think Bivol is not as dominant in this division, but he's just like Alexis mentioned, he's just as dangerous, that size, that power. He's got youth on his side. He's very disciplined. He's not going to go in there, abandoning the game plan. I think Canelo has his work cut out for him. But at the same time, I do think Canelo is just on a different stratosphere when it comes to skill. So I see this going the distance. But yeah, tough. It's going to be a tough test for Canelo for sure.
Trevor says I spoke to Lozano from Team Canelo this week, and he said, "Si va a estar fácil." When I asked him about Bivol, saying it would be an easy fight. I mean, when you have the best fighter in the world, you probably feel that way,
Yeah.
right? But no, I like it. I think besides the like Sean said, the politics, Bivol is Russian. Besides what's going to happen in the ring, besides him going up to 175, I mean, how do you guys feel about another thing that's going to be introduced in this fight, the DAZN pay-per-view? A lot of fans were not happy about this. Let's get your take on the DAZN pay-per-view. So you need to have the subscription, plus you got to pay.
I think it's so obviously you guys, I explained my position on pay-per-view. Like, I don't mind paying pay-per-view to watch Canelo. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll be $75 or something like that. Like, I'm going to go pay that much next week to watch a bunch of guys who are not Canelo fight. You know what I mean? So it's not really that big of a deal to pay on pay-per-view for that. But I do think that the whole combination subscription plus pay-per-view thing is a little devastating to pay-per-view numbers. Like ESPN has done that multiple times, like the ESPN plus pay-per-view, like Terrence Crawford, ESPN plus pay-per-view, right? So you have to have the app and the subscription, and you have to pay the pay-per-view fee.
Yeah.
And like, it does feel like double dipping. You know what I mean? Like, as a consumer, right? As a consumer, you're going to sit here and go, wow, you guys are double dipping on me. I'm already paying for this app or this event, and now I have to pay again, right? And so I'm not going to complain too much, but obviously as a consumer, you don't like it, right? Like, none of us are going to sit here and go, I think it's great, right? like I doubt anybody in the chat is going to say, you know, I love paying twice for my boxing content. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not fun, but we'll do it.
Yeah. The problem I have with this was originally, you know, the DAZN did say like the pay-per-view is going to go away. It's going to be subscription based for all of Canelo's fights. Obviously, it's well known that the price of yesterday is not the price of today. And, you know, I think Eddie Hearn went on record and saying like, oh, this is only going to be for Canelo. These pay-per-view kinds of things only for Canelo or only for an Anthony Joshua. These are the only two megastars that we have in the sport. I mean, try telling that to the casual that said that, you know, as a boxing aficionado, you kind of get that. You kind of get that you would have to pay a little extra for Canelo and quote unquote Joshua. But for the casual, they're gonna be like, "Doe, I'm already paying. Why do I have to pay again? Do I have to pay a super pay-per-view to get the behind the scenes? Like, what's next? What's to stop them from overcharging for any other thing?" So I mean, I get it. It's Canelo, but I'm not happy with it in a sense.
Hey, those people who talk bad about Canelo are still gonna pay for
They
both.
are.
For
Hey.
both.
You're not gonna miss a Canelo fight, man.
Big Bro says Bivol doesn't seem to have that fake confidence most fighters portray when fighting Canelo. Yeah, I agree with that. Bivol, interesting fact, he hasn't stopped anyone in his last 6 fights. So I don't know. He is 19-0, 11 KOs, 31 years old, like I said, in his prime. We'll see, though. We'll see. Obviously, he had that big win over Joe Smith Jr. and John Pascal. He did get hurt against Joe Smith Jr. at the end, toward the end of that fight. So we'll see what Canelo can do. Most people obviously would think his best chances would be to the body, but we'll see how that plays out.